like I'm looking. You look amazing too, big dog. What you got on there? Is that lavender on this? I don't know my colors. I feel
I don't either. I think I'm partially colorblind, so.
Okay, well, look, it's time to get it started with my Clippers. And playoff P, waka, showed up a big way last night. Paul George scored a career-high playoff 41 points, including 20 in the third quarter, to prevent the Clippers from being eliminated by the Suns. Man, I'm so hyped. PG has put the team on his back without Kawhi Leonard, but he is still in with some doubters like Acho.
Do you feel like, sometimes people pick on you a little bit more than, say, other stars?
I do. And it's the honest truth. It's a fact. But I can't worry about that. It's comes with the job, I guess. But it is what it is. I don't know where this trolling come from, where the internet controls the narrative about these players. It's becoming foolish, man. Like I said earlier in the year, that's one of the most special players to ever lace his shoes up. Get this dude his flowers, man. I don't understand the slander. It's becoming quite silly now. Like, respect these players, man. Respect these greats.
I'm gonna hit you with the boogie. I don't know where this is coming from. So, Acho, since they talking about you, is PG unfairly criticized?
I love athletes, Sal. No,
What you mean?
to answer the question,
Talking
no, he's
about
not.
you.
I love athletes, and I love this topic. Every now and then, we start off the show with the topic we have to start with because it's the news of the day, so we have to start with it. But then there are days like today where the news of today also meets the best topic of today. Yes. And we get to start for y'all with this. Paul George is not unfairly criticized, and the praise of Paul George, which he rightfully deserves after last night's game, only reminds me that his criticism is rightfully deserved as well. Like, PG went 15 for 20 yesterday, 8 for 8 from the field, 3 for 6 from the three-point line. Elimination game, and this man balled. You better talk about it. You better talk about how he balled, because that's exactly what happened last night.
Okay, so far.
In the exact same breath, after game 4, when he goes 5 for 20 from the field, when he goes 1 for 9 from the three-point line, and when he goes 12 for 18 from the three-point line, we better talk about that as well.
Oh.
You can't turn a blind eye to his poorest performance, but then glean and shine your eyes when he balls. That's not how it works. And I hate when athletes, when we, even in the media, not just athletes, because I used to be that and now I'm in the media, I hate when we act like you have to ignore the bad but only praise the good. PG's poor performance was worse than his good performance was great.
Was it?
5 for 20.
Was it?
1 for 9 from 3. 12 for 18 from the free throw line is worse than 15 for 20, 3 for 6, and 8 for 8 is good.
Worse? Okay.
So,
you said it.
Let's properly assess the two. PG balled last night. I will never take anything away from that performance. He balled. But PG's play is schizophrenic.
Is it?
It is, Sal, because one day PG is shooting 25% from the field, and the next day he's shooting 75% from the field. If we look at it in totality, he's 20 for 40 the last 2 games. But that's one thing if you're 10 for 20, 10 for 20. It's a whole different thing if you're 5 for 20, 15 for 20. His play don't know what it's doing, so I don't know how to talk about it. Now, what I'm not going to do is say, oh, I didn't even see him go 5 for 20. But, man, he went 15 for 20. And what I'm not going to do is, yo, he went 5 for 20. I didn't see him go 15 for 20. I'm going to talk about both, because we get paid to talk every day, not just after the good days, not just after the bad days. PG balled last night, but the criticism is fair.
Oh, man, I disagree with you. I think he is unfairly criticized. I've noticed with you, we have different vantage points and respect for equity. And that is lending itself into this conversation, because I think as a veteran, as a star, if you want to say borderline superstar, because Paul George shoes sells out. Paul George has multiple endorsements. Paul George is living in the 0.001% of athletes in this world, in history. I think you don't have the objectivity to really talk about Paul George because you don't respect equity. You don't respect who Paul George was, who came into the league, known for his defensive prowess and working on his skills, a 6'8" guy, raw, who became a guy who has yo-yo handles at 6'8", Kobe-light skills, who became one of the top 5 players in conversation. And then that's why the whole world was sitting there in awe and in despair when he tore off his lower torso from his body and then recovered and became not only that player again, but even greater than that version, which was an amazing feat. And Paul George, through all this, has shown that he is mentally resilient, has shown that he has the resolve to not only climb the mountain, get knocked back down, and climb it up once again. It's the same Paul George who one time averaged 28 points in this league and 8 rebounds. People don't respect Paul George like that because they don't give him his flowers and equity, what Boogie was saying. So here's the thing. The reason why I don't like your take fully is because you're trying to tell me when he does well, we're going to praise him.
Yes, sir.
And when he does bad, we're going to criticize him. That's not what you do to veterans like this, to stars like this, to superstars, if you want to go that far with Paul George. You know what we do?
What?
We give them a pass because we know more than not they're going to always show up. Think about it. No, it's not even a hot take. When you know your car starts all the time, you just got that new Lexus, right? So you ain't got this problem right now. I'll let you in 10 years. Right. But when old Betsy finally become old Betsy, and you go out there and now it's a time to start talking about old Betsy because those bad performances are inserted with all of this goodness. Paul George has this many bad performances for you to talk about. And then you exaggerate the bad ones to make it seem like it doesn't counterbalance all the great ones. Here's my example. You said going 5 for 20 is worse than what he did last night.
Yes, sir.
Acho. Paul George is the first player in NBA history to have at least 40, 13, and 6 while shooting 75% from the field in a postseason game since 1968. So you trying to tell me that a 5 for 20 game that happens every other day is the same to counterbalance someone who did something that no one's done since 1968? The floor is yours.
I'm telling you, by the end of the show, we can find that Paul George is the only athlete to shoot 5 for 20, plus 1 for 9, plus 12 for 18, with a minimum of 15 free throws.
Since 1968.
Hey, we got it?
No, we ain't got it. That's why you ain't got it now.
Right now.
That's why you ain't got it now.
By the end of the show, I'm telling you right now, Paul George would be in a limited category. 100 on it?
100
by the end of the show.
100 pennies. You know I'm broke.
Now, here's where I'm going to go.
What?
Success isn't owned. It's leased.
Oh.
And rent is due every day.
Yes.
You know the quote.
That's
I know
facts.
the quote.
Oh,
Y'all now know the quote.
I got
Success ain't owned. It's leased and rent's due every day. Paul George, I'm just waiting on the payments on a daily, big dog. Now, here's what we can't do. What? We can't excuse Paul George of what we excuse other superstars. If you said he's a superstar, treat him as such. Luka, we praised him quarters 1 through 3. But we know in the fourth quarter he disappeared. LeBron James, we praise him when he balls. When he shuts down, we criticize him. Russell Westbrook, when he wins MVPs, we praise him. But then we also talk about the fact that his style of play can't win games. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2-time NBA MVP. We praise him for being clutch at times, but then we're going to debate here in about 15 to 20 minutes, is he even the best player on his team? We're really about to ask, is a 2-time MVP better than the guy that has ever won an MVP nor had an MVP vote? Because superstars get superstar criticism. So if Paul George is indeed a superstar, then please, let's give him the superstar criticism. But who is Paul George? Paul George reminds me of an old teammate of mine in college. Sail track with me, you'll enjoy this story.
Let's hear it.
Teammate of mine at the University of Texas, he stole another teammate's wallet. True story.
So we can't say his name?
You can't say his name.
Damn it.
He stole another teammate's wallet. So the teammate's wallet, who he stole, now walks into the locker room and is looking for his wallet, Hey, Acho, you help me? You see my wallet? Nah, big dog, I ain't seen it. Say, you see my wallet? Nah, I ain't seen it.
But he in college, so ain't nothing in it, because he broke.
That's true.
Well, at UT, y'all got paid. All right, sorry, too much.
The person who stole the wallet is like, hey, big dog, I help you look for it, man. Somebody got
I hate that dude.
Somebody got you for your wallet, my dog. I'm going to help you look for it. So the one who stole the wallet is now helping the person look for the wallet knowing he stole it. And guess who gets the praise?
What?
The one who stole it in the first place. Paul George stole a win from the Clippers, game 2. Paul George stole